let's bring to the stage Maria Bell, executive producer. Christian LeBlanc, Michael Baldwin. Kristoff St. John, who plays Neil Winters. Jeanne Cooper, Catherine Chancellor. Mr. Victor Newman, Eric Braeden. Melody Thomas Scott plays Nikki Newman. Doug Davidson plays Paul Williams. Michelle Stafford, Phyllis Newman. Joshua Morrow plays Nicholas Newman. And Peter Bergman, Jack Abbott. So I'm going to ask like each one of you a question, and there's some dorky fan stuff in there, but other ones you should feel free to pop in if there's something that you want to answer. So I'm going to start with you.
Oh, okay.
You joined the show in what year?
In 1989.
In my house, you're still known as the New Jack.
The New Jack.
You are.
Yep.
Okay, so my question for you, I'm not kidding.
It's good.
My question for you is, to set the scene, which
Cool.
is, and you, All My Children is on your
That's
resume.
right. Yes.
What is it about this DNA that's different? What's the ingredient that has made it 10,000 episodes strong and so number one for 10 billion years?
I think we're all asked this probably more than any other question, and my answer is always continuity. That when you turn on The Young and the Restless, you know who you're going to see. They're all sitting here. It is not a show that you turn on and suddenly see 10 new characters. You see these people that everyone grew up with, everyone watched get married and divorced and have children and lose a parent, and yeah, all of them are still here.
Over and over.
Over and over.
Good. That's great. Thank you. Jeanne, just as you take a sip, who has a New York Times best-selling book. Okay. I have two questions for you. One's kind of silly, but it's something I've always wanted to ask you, which is, as Catherine Chancellor, when you're all of those times when you're looking out into space and you're going like this, is that your character, or are you thinking, what's my next line? Okay, we'll skip that one.
Catherine, think. What is your next?
Okay, so the serious question is, I've been watching the show a very long time. It sounds like a lot of people here have been. The storylines move like crazy fast now. Mm-hmm. You missed 3 episodes and Victor's gone and Sharon's running things.
Married together, anything.
How does that, what are the pros and cons of going so fast, and do you feel that as an actor?
Well, when everything is moving so fast, you come in and you pick up a script and you say, what in the hell went on when I wasn't here yesterday? And you're supposed to make it believable. It's a very difficult question to answer. You have to be fast. You have to be so fast, and you have to be up on everybody's character. And sometimes, if you're not up on the person's character, not yours, but the others, you lose part of your character. And basically, what you have to do is be interested in what he's doing, what he's doing, what he's doing, what she's doing, what they're doing, and then make up what your character is doing in relationship to them. And you have to stick to it. Sometimes it doesn't make sense because you don't know what his character is doing, what his character. We always know what his character is doing. Poor darling Nikki is the dumbest woman that ever lived in the world. And this is who I've always wanted for a daughter?
Okay, Maria, you've written 1,300 episodes?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay. And so how do you answer that question? Because you've been in the seat of speaking.
Sure. I mean, when I started on the show, it was, 1989. I mean, it was a different world. And I think now the important thing about the show is balance. I mean, you definitely need more pacing than you needed 20 years ago. You need more balance within an episode. You need more to happen in each episode. And each episode has to be like a Friday, which is what, it used to be that you just waited for Friday.
To keep people
So it's the challenge of storytelling now is with all the distractions there are out there, how do we keep this so compelling? And that's really what we strove to do by making it, you feel that if you missed 3 days, you really missed a lot. And that's the key.
Okay, good. Eric? You will kindly answer this question, all right? Didn't do it well. With seniority, you've been on the show since what year?
1980.
1980.
Yes.
Okay, so you know your character better than anyone.
I think I do.
Do you, with seniority on the show, get more say or any say in terms of where your character is going? Can you say, Sharon, I don't know about this.
I want to dispel that myth that some vicious character in one of the soap magazines disseminated that we have influence over what the writers write. We don't. We simply don't, and I think Maria can attest to that. There may be some, in other words, we are aware of what is written after the fact. It's been written already 4 or 5 weeks before. So one can sometimes make certain changes. I never do. So, nor do I ever improvise, but basically one does not interfere. We don't have the time. We are not there when they concoct the storylines. And I tell you, for 30 years now, or 32, I've been very happy, mostly very happy with what I've been given by the writers. So it's a myth that we determine, that we talk to them. I don't call Maria at night and say, I would like to do this or that storyline. No.
How far in advance do you know sort of what's happening? Like, do you know when you're starting to get cozy to Sharon that what's going to happen? Not that, but...
Wow.
Next question.
Okay. Melody.
Oh, yes.
So if you could sit down and say, I want Nikki to do X, Y, and Z, haven't done before or want to revisit, where would you want your character to go?
Oh, there's not a lot that she has not done. But I often fantasize about going stark raving mad, being in the nut house like a lot of you all have been in, Sharon. I've never made it there. I have not gone crazy enough. So as an actor, that, of course, would be great fun to play.
Hang around me for a while longer.
Well, it's been over 30 years. I'm still not in the nut house. And I also, as I think everyone does for some mystical reason, loves a drunk Nikki. So if they ever want Nikki to go down that road again, that'd be great.
Can you recite your last names?
Oh, Lord, I used to be able to. Oh,
No.
Brooks. Nikki, Reed, Foster, Newman, Abbott.
That was
Then there was that guy in the mafia guy.
Oh,
Who was that guy?
In the apron, Marcino?
I never
Johnny,
married
no, never
Marcino,
married.
and I would love to have him come back again. Speaking of that,
It was Johnny. No.
Not Matthew, but the guy.
apron.
Oh.
He was in an apron.
I married a guy in an apron.
Yeah,
The
you married a
doctor,
guy.
right?
Oh, the
doctor. Doctor, because
I
the maid went crazy.
I think you got what you wanted.
I do, Dr. Landers.
Dr. Landers.
Dr. Landers, and that was one of the few things that I thought, oh my
The
goodness.
doctor.
And it was too late to change anything.
I had no
thought,
clue.
Bill, I didn't tell you.
Stunning.
And I always
He's in the barn a lot.
I really didn't
daughter.
want to. I thought let him be a doctor of anything. Let him be a urologist. Let him be any other kind of doctor. But I don't want to marry my OB/GYN. But I did, and it didn't work out anyway. So, and then there was probably Newman again in there, and then that, who's that other Chow guy?
Ciao.
And
Oh, Vince Irizarry.
and now recently, yes, now we've got Newman again, and then Abbott. I think there were 3 or 4.
Would you say she's quite a whore?
Deacon Sharp.
Is she married?
I was married.
There's a
They were my
There's a shark.
husbands.
It's sharp.
There's a Sharp in there.
Deacon.
You married Deacon.
We all tried to forget that.
I am so sorry, and I adore
As
him.
we all
I
have.
wouldn't mind being married to him. I wouldn't be mind married to him again.
Okay, let's get things
Hey,
back
he
on
was
track.
We
fun.
think a lot of things. I had no
Now
idea
that you mention it.
what a checkered past.
Joshua?
Checker.
Joshua?
Yes.
So they told me, you're the shy one? Amid this bunch? No?
Shy?
That's what they said ahead of time. They
Yeah.
said, don't ask him to take his shirt off, he won't do it.
Oh.
Well,
I mean, I spend a great part of my life with my shirt off on the show, so I mean, we've all seen it several times. So
Okay,
Take it off.
what I want to ask
it
is,
Take it off.
Trouble, you knew that was gonna
person.
Okay, my serious question for you is, as a fan, so you've been on the show as sort of the young,
guy.
You know.
Young weirdo.
No, and now you're like transitioning into like the more powerful executive and and so all of these younger people are coming on, new characters. Like, what is it like to work with someone new to the show and like new to?
It's cool because when I first started, I looked up to Eric and Peter as like my mentors. They taught me a lot just by seeing how they they do their job and handle themselves. You would have think I took some of that and used it in my life today.
One would hope.
Yeah, because I kind of consider myself the set clown, but because we're in such a serious medium that I like to kind of keep everybody loose and smiling and like hopefully laughing. But we really only get one take at things these days. So I pride myself on being able to kind of keep up this kind of laid back demeanor, but also getting my scene in the one take that is now required. So
It's not working, Josh.
it is, man.
Do you
But
have
when I see the young
control over
kids,
him.
I try when I'm with them. I try to seem a little more professional because I'd like them to see me also as somebody who, takes their job very seriously, which I do, but it might not be, understood like that.
Yeah. One of the things I loved about meeting all of you is that you all do take it super seriously, even though it's silly and funny and we're all laughing. So thank you.
I
Well,
laugh
I
a
think
lot.
the only reason that we have to be silly and goofy is we know that in less than 5 minutes that red light on the camera is going to come on, and we've got to do it serious. And sometimes it's like serious emotion and tears and sobbing, and it's got to be real. And I think you just have to kind of get out the goofiness in order to play that seriousness. That seems to be what our problem is, because we are totally insane until the red light goes on, and then it's real.
Yeah, I would kill for there to be a show within the show of like what happens.
Oh, that would be the show. That would be the show.
I consider myself so blessed because I wake up every day and all I do is laugh all day. I think all these people are so hysterical, and you never get to see it. Like, they're all so funny, and I love that part of our show. And like I said, I wish there was a way to show the show within the show because I'm such a fan of what you guys do with your careers, but also as people. You make me laugh.
Reality series?
Some of you more than others.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Michelle. Speaking of the nut house, Phyllis. Okay. So Phyllis used to be completely crazy in a most fabulous way possible. Then we had grandmother, we're taking care of children and even balanced Phyllis. Now it seemed to be having black negligee, stabbing needle, allergy needle, and corpse Phyllis. What? I'm getting to a question.
Oh no! I'm not tracking with that.
Really? Okay.
No.
Tell me why.
Because she's always different. Yeah, she's never, she's different every single day. That's why I really like playing her. There's always aspects of crazy in her, and there's
See, I love
always
the crazy. I want more crazy.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's fun to watch, right? But I think underneath it all, there's like she seems to be strong, but she's really not. She has a lot of vibrato. There's a lot of, and usually the people who have a lot going on out here usually are the shyest or the most fearful, right? Because they're overcompensating a lot. So without getting psychobabbly, right? But I think that
She also likes to have sex.
A lot.
but she does.
Yeah.
And she's quite good at it. She's a lot better than I am.
What do you?
That's the line of the day.
But I just think she's very interesting because she's always changing.
Okay, good.
And I like it. I really do.
You hit on something, a strong woman, even if that's the portrayal but not internal. I mean, that's a hallmark of the show. Does anyone have an idea or thought on that as opposed to, in terms of what people want to watch or why people connect with that versus just damsels in distress?
It's predominantly watched by women. And
Initially, it was.
No, it's not.
it's not.
Initially,
No,
it was.
well, it is and it isn't.
Okay.
I think you're looking at a group of very, if I may say so, very good actors, and I think we all learn from each other. I think we all look at each other more so than we realize, or more so than we will acknowledge. And you, for example, are wonderful to watch. You're free. You're very improvisational.
Thank you.
Great to watch. Everyone here has a certain something that I think we actors are usually a bit more sensitive than a lot of other people. We pick up things by osmosis, and whether we like it or not. And I watch scenes, and one sort of is fascinated by what some actors do. Recently, there have been scenes on the air that I don't have a chance to watch that often, but fascinated by what all of you do. And I think we, on this show, have a tendency to want to be as real as we can be. And I think the only way this medium can survive is by taking real life stories and by taking actors that make it as real as possible. And none of this would work without the writing. The writing is the foundation of it all. What the writers give us is what makes it possible for us to do. Anyway, I think we take from each other. I really do. At least I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually don't take anything from Kristoff. I just
you
come
don't?
Who beats who in basketball between you and
if
Kristoff?
you are doing an emotional
Yeah,
scene,
basketball.
you need to get something from that person that
Yes.
you're in the scene with, or it's not going to happen.
Yes.
I totally rely on these people that I may have to cry with. It's up to them if they're going to give me what I need emotionally.
And
That
you-
might sound a little crazy.
No, and you said
Very
something
true.
before.
Yeah, but
And I wanted to say earlier, you were saying that you thought we had more female fans. Actually, I actually have more male fans than female fans. I don't know if that's just me. But a lot of men are watching, a lot of professional athletes and
from state
musicians
institutions,
and prisoners, yes.
Federal state.
But a lot of the
A lot
men
of
don't want to
government
admit it, but they've been watching
That
since
makes
they
me
were
feel
a
very
baby.
happy. Kristoff, how would you answer that question about what if you could write your own character, or like what would you like to see your character do?
Wow. Well, I, for one, have gotten a lot of mail from jail. I'm just going to clear that up now. I have.
Hey, they watch. They have TVs.
They do.
We will take it.
They
That's
do.
fine.
Yeah.
It's a captive audience.
That's funny. I stopped sending 8x10s though.
They cut those eyes
I
out.
did.
It's not the eyes.
What does that mean? What is that? What is
I'll
that?
We
tell
should
you
never
later.
have sat the two of you next to each
That
other.
might have been a mistake.
Yeah.
So I wish that I was Victor Newman. I wish that I could be Paul's partner because he can't figure anything out. And I can. Right? No, really. Nothing against you, Doug.
Why does it hurt then?
Because you absorb more things than other people.
Yes. Like a sponge, you're very sensitive.
Like toxic things.
Right. And then I wish I could sleep with Phyllis. The character. We're talking characters now. No, not at all. I wish that I could beat Nick in basketball because we play so much on the show now. And I wish I had Peter Bergman's hair. I mean, Jack Abbott's.
Okay, well, one of the things I've
Oh,
always
wait, and I wish she would adopt me instead of Devon.
I hope someone is taking notes.
We all want a
There's
rich
some good
white
ideas.
woman.
And I wish that I could have seen you strip. I would have loved to have seen you strip.
Somehow not what I wanted you to say.
One of the things I've always loved about, oh, sorry,
No, please go.
about your character is that you know,
You mean he's too serious?
no, that you're a businessman. It's not a stereotypical role or depiction in any way. At the same time, lately, correct me if I'm wrong, because I only see every 3 episodes. What is there? Is as much business in the show? Is there? What's the balance there lately, or is it more?
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Kristoff.
Oh, to Kristoff, I'm sorry.
You know what? Because I thought you were talking to him, I was thinking about something I was thinking about what I was going
totally
to eat
checked
after the show. I'm so sorry.
Phyllis the whole time. You got stuck on that Phyllis one.
Right. But I didn't really finish
What do you
answering.
like playing more, the businessman or the personal scene?
You play businessman? I didn't.
I didn't know either. Am I? I've changed jobs like so much. I'm not sure what I do anymore.
Do you know how difficult all of this is? It's for the writer to determine what the hell.
I was going to say, jump in anytime.
I'm just letting him.
In all seriousness, I enjoy both sides. You know, I love taking the suit and tie off and wearing the jeans and being the dad, you know, to Lily and Devon.
Really?
But, yeah, well, kind of. No, not really.
Wrong reading.
Yeah, I do.
You're head of my company.
I am. So,
You know that?
well, yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't listening.
What projects are we working on?
Ask him.
Right?
I gave him my business and said, hey,
Don't go
make all
down
the
this
money you
road.
want, just keep me rich.
I'm suffering from amnesia, my darling. I don't know what I'm doing. And do all these scenes in one take.
Yeah.
You must remember, at nighttime television, they shoot 1 hour between 8 and 10 days, 8 and 12 days. A film does it anywhere, 3 months, 4 months.
Ah.
We do a show in 1 day. We do 80 pages in 1 day.
Crazy.
That's extraordinary. We never have a full rehearsal. I always say, if you're not good in a film, then go home. Pack your things as an actor. That's a luxury, to sit there
God,
for
yes.
weeks or for days to
You want to see.
learn something, to discuss it with the director and the other actors. That's a luxury we don't have. We come on the set and go through it. We often learn it on the spot or before, and then we do it. And we never have a rehearsal, really. We have a technical rehearsal for the cameras. But beyond that, we just do it. And every so often, we have a nighttime actor come from nighttime television or film, and they make in their pants.
They can't do it.
Scary business.
Dorothy McGuire, very famous
It's an old expression.
Oscar-winning actress who played his mother. And she did 20 episodes, and she stayed with Catherine. And she turned to me one day and she said, "How do you do it?" She said, "I will never do this again."
That's right.
Ever.
It's true.
And it's amazing. It's the most difficult media, I think, to try and turn it in a decent performance of all the medias.
Absolutely, no question.
It's incredible.
I think we all enjoy that, though. I think we like
You
living
have
on
to.
the edge.
Oh, yeah?
We
You
are
have to,
all
yes.
crazy,
Living on the edge
and
like
that's
that,
why we
yeah.
can do this.
I
That
have
is-
ADD, so a film would be the kiss of death.
Leaving us alone for hours upon end before the scene.
All right, now you get a question since you popped up. No, when you have one of those more emotional, intense scenes, like with Ricky, for example, and the bathroom and all of the shooting, like, how do you prepare for that then? Like, how much time do you have with the script? How do you think about?
Well, experience certainly helps because you've been down that road before. I think that for me personally, I try and trick myself that it is it's part of my reality. So and then you maintain that flavor through whatever scenes you have to do during that time period. So it's not, for me with those, it's not getting in and getting out. It's just connecting to where I am, what I'm doing, what my relationships are, what the costs are, the risks, and the fact that I'm a very damaged individual that makes it easy for me to cry at the drop of a hat.
Is it easy for you?
I would say yes. It's not pain-free, but it's easy.
I think to be
But the
successful in this, I think we all need to have our emotions very close by and ready to access for whatever scene might have to be. And that is certainly an acquired thing, if you can get it at all. But it's necessary in this area.
Take the trash
I
out.
just wish,
You can use your powers for evil. You can.
I wish they would film the rehearsals.
Yeah.
Because the rehearsals, we do something that is diametrically opposed to the scene that comes up. And we do that, I think, and you alluded to it, because it's a challenge to us to be idiots before a serious scene, make lewd jokes, and then suddenly become very serious. And Jeanne never makes lewd jokes. Never. First time we did a scene together, she grabbed me by the cojones. Are you kidding me? What?
She
I
did
guess
that
that's
to
the way
you
to
too?
There's not a one of us that's not scarred on this stage by this woman.
Yeah. Mine came when we shot the square dancing episode. We went round the corner and you just grabbed hold of the pebbles.
It's like some horrible Easter egg.
Hey, Jeanne, is that in the book?
It is. Totally is. Bess is up to it all.
It's in the book.
Shameless.
It brought a certain
Danger. Goodness.
no, but it livened up the joint anyway. I mean, to just let
It comes from the
scene
old
lay
burlesque
there.
days. Got to liven up the joint.
What Maria, there are a lot of new characters on the show. How do you think about introducing someone new? Talk about that.
Well, it's really, you have to be very careful, I think, with introducing new characters, because they really need to mainstream in with the favorites. I mean, what people really want to see are the people on this stage and a number of others who aren't here tonight, who are very core to the show, the longtime stars of the show. But, occasionally you need to enliven a story with somebody coming in who's a troublemaker, or somebody coming in, to really stir things up. And or to reveal more about someone else. I think the case of the character of Avery, for instance, that character really came out of my desire to actually understand Phyllis better. I mean, I think we all know that she has that crazy streak, but we all know she has that intense vulnerability. And I wanted to know more about her history. So in the end of the day, that was, sometimes a character will come on and it'll have really, a lot of it usually is connected to something among the core characters so that it reveals something about them. It's usually not just an island, because that to me doesn't really work. I mean, I'm interested in them and I want to learn more about them. So that's usually been the reason why.
Do you ever get so far and be like, okay, this isn't working? How do we? Absolutely.
I mean, you really want to, you can tell, when the chemistry isn't right in a romance, or you can tell, when things aren't working. And, I've always tried to kind of get out of those things gracefully.
How about Murphy and me, for God's sake?
Oh, come on. I love that guy. Right? I mean, she can't, I know you want him to go fishing forever, but I just think he's adorable. But
if something isn't working, is it better to try to get out of it quickly or gracefully?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, you really have to be honest with yourself how things are going and really kind of read how it's going. But a lot of times too, the classic is that the minute that you decide that it isn't working and you're going to kill a character off, this person then does the best work they've ever done, and everybody mourns their loss after hating them for 3 months. So it's you never know. I mean, it's just one of those things. I think that you can't let the tail wag the dog. You have to tell a great story. But when something isn't working out with an actor or a character, then you have to also be ready to jettison it. But you really want the story to be the key. And really, sticking by your story is you have to be faithful to what you're doing, and you have to really believe in it. And I feel like that was sort of the hallmark of what I did.
When I asked my mother what I should ask you guys, because she's a hardcore fan, she's taped it on VHS for I don't know how many years, and that's when I used to watch it with her at night, and now with her DVR, she teaches high school. She had two questions. She had a command, which was, can we do anything to cut Daniel's hair?
No. Not a thing.
And her other question.
I throw it in sometimes, and you need to cut your hair. I think as his mother.
Right, it's up to you. We're leaving it up to you.
Yeah, she wants him to cut his hair every now and then. I'll say, and you have to cut your hair. So I've thrown it in a couple times.
Okay, good. That makes me feel a lot better.
Okay.
And the other question was and I'm just going to read it exactly how she asked it, which was, what I really want to know is, where is the damn knife? Do you know?
I don't know. It was out the window.
It was a butcher knife. What happened?
I know where it is.
Did a dog bury it?
But I won't tell you.
I think it's in a field outside of Chicago.
I think they filmed the Iron Chef right around the corner.
There's a Ginsu?
It's a big knife.
It's a big knife.
Maybe it's with the reliquary.
I think it is.
We are not to ever say that word again.
Am I
Mr.
Now I have to ask.
Can I just say my favorite scene on the show of all time?
Oh, God.
Of all time is when the reliquary needed to be refashioned by Amelia. So me and Amelia and Don Diamont with his ever-present gun in a scene, and Amelia has these like art glasses on. Like she just went to like some art craft store and got some paper mache. She made a reliquary in front of us. I swear to you, I thought I was gonna get fired that day because I literally could not stop laughing.
I never wrote the word reliquary.
I know.
No.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm not insulting anyone's work. It just.
Amelia did a great job.
For sure, my most amazing performance I ever gave, because before every time, there were tears streaming down my face on Amelia, on everybody, and Don's just like, who can I shoot? Who's getting shot? That's all I want to know. So, my favorite ever.
Christian, what's your favorite?
What's my what?
What's your favorite?
Favorite moment?
Yeah.
Oh, a storyline. Gosh, I've had some doozies. Mainly everyone else doing the heavy lifting, and I just kind of like. I got to say, Greg Rickhart, as my brother, walking into the office, saying hello, brother, was pretty wonderful. Marrying Lauren Yeah. Yeah. She does everything but backwards and in high heels, so. There's some Thinking Lauren Was Dead. When our honeymoon, I get to do things in groups. I'm not very much alone on this. There's usually kind of either a family dynamic when we have dinner with the Fisher Baldwins, or right now I'm working with Jeff Branson and Jennifer Landon and these wonderful people in the wonderful people doing the procedural stuff in the police station, and I can't get enough of these smart, quick people that I get to work with. So yeah, I mean, there's no end to stuff that I have.
As the DA, now you're the DA.
I am the DA.
Can you please do something to change the name Glowworm?
No, you know what? I'd pistol whip her tomorrow if I could.
I'm sorry, that's my.
Glowworm? But that fits Gloria, and that fits. They would name
That
it
is
something
true.
like that. Her and Bardwell.
I always
Are you
got the
kidding me?
glow thing. What the
Took me
thing-
weeks
She
to
always
figure it
calls
out.
it the glowworm, which is so hysterical.
Well, it's a restaurant with a worm in the title.
But it's
a club.
It's a song.
Glow, little glowworm, shimmer, shimmer.
Are you
I missed that
a
episode.
Lucy fan?
Yes, I love Lucy.
Yeah.
You're not a Lucy fan?
Oh.
She played
It's a
glowworm on the
reference.
saxophone. Oh my God,
Thank
Maria,
you.
what would we do with
I,
her?
I even knew that.
Oh, fine.
But it's so what glowworm. It's so what Judith Chapman is so
That was
Gloria.
her nickname. That was what Jeff called her.
Jeff
Was
called
a
her
little
that.
glowworm. And,
But I mean,
yeah.
it would be Gloria. That's so Gloria.
That
to name it.
character is terrific.
She's
terrific.
whacked.
Yeah.
She's
awesome.
She's the mother from hell, but it's great.
Oh, yeah.
It's gold every time she's on.
One of the greatest, and Doug Holt production up for 10 minutes. We couldn't get it right. And it's also involved him because he's waiting and he's fairly new to the show. But he has a scene of where we're at this event, whatever it was, and they said, would you please take Miss Chancellor home? She had had a few drinks. And he said, yeah, by all means. And of course, his father was, the head detective of Genoa City. He never solved a crime, but he was the head detective. And so Doug...
I get it honestly.
That's where he got it.
Yeah. Not all his fault. Jeanne just went right that way. I let him in the door, and I'm asking him about his father, and I had this fur coat on that went out, all over, worse, bigger than one of Nikki's and more ridiculous. You got some good furs.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I said, what does your father do? And he said, as he's taking off my coat, he says, my father's a coat.
Did you say that? Do you remember that?
And we had a cameraman who had had a few little things on a 5-minute break. He said, what about camera? Good. And Toby said, that's funny, my mother's a shoe. And no matter how many times we tried the scene, if we got rid of the coat, it would have worked. And this one was standing by, but he's fairly new. You remember this?
I don't know, darling, but I have amnesia. Anyway, go on.
Said, could we get on with it? And Doug turned around and he said, well, what's his mother? We tried 10 minutes. Finally, John Convoy said, all right, settle down. Now we got to get on with this. Doug, when he gets on the road, cannot stop. We would start the scene and go again, and I'm talking about his father. Said, yes, my father's a
Cop.
He couldn't think of a shoe, a coat, a hat. We eliminated it. We did.
We did.
You finally got your
I don't
one.
remember, my darling, but I
To tell you the truth, I forgot what the question was.
So we all did.
Who's your father, apparently?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to
No.
make time for audience questions.
Funny
but
notes.
I want just a general question for anybody is what does Winery need to do to make it to another 10,000? You know,
Be really good.
It's
Live long enough.
Look,
Some of us are going to have to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be gone. It'll be Jeannie's one-woman show. She's just gonna wait. She's gonna wait us out.
I think we have a group of wonderful actors, and if the writing continues to be as good as it has been, then we will continue to exist for quite some time, I think. And obviously, it is contingent upon the ratings, and they have been damn good for about 29 years now. We're #1. That's extraordinary. And there you are. So,
Michelle, what do you think about that? What's your?
I disagree with. No, I just kidding. Yeah, I think just writing and the actors being engaged and everybody, all production being engaged. I think that if you tell a good story, people will watch. I think at the end of the day, that's true. If it's a good story and all aspects of telling the story are, on point, then I think that people will tune in. I think that when the story isn't told well by us or the writers, or the people just tune out just slightly, ever so slightly, and then they don't know why they're not interested in the show anymore. They're like, oh, yeah, I used to like that. I don't know. And I think that it can be a slow chipping away.
Yeah.
It needs to continue to engage people. You have to continue to engage people. That's how I feel.
It sounds like there's a real awareness that every gear needs to be turning to keep it where you are. That you can't let down on one piece of it.
Right.
Well, it's not even where you are. If you're standing still, you're going backwards this day and age. You've got to move forward, and that's the kind of thing you look for, is this passion and belief that what you're doing is an amazing thing, and that you're bringing something substantial to your audience. Mm-hmm. And you want those people who are jazzed and excited and passionate. You have them on this stage, and people respond to that. You come, you tell a compelling story, they'll sit around the campfire. You say it, they will come.
Yeah, but you also have to remember, they're also asking something of us. They want a story that they would like to identify with. Mm-hmm. I mean, what we're saying, always, it's in the writing. It's a good story, magnificent, you're going to watch. But in the meantime, they're tremendous judges of saying, make me escape for an hour of my day. Mm-hmm. It is bloody miserable out there. Let me frigging escape.
all of us have been on the road enough to realize that we touch the lives of not only one generation, but 2 and 3 generations. There's a sense of continuity. Jeanne was a virgin when I met her. So.
That's a lie.
Well, I think one of the keys to the success of Young and Restless has been that it really has stayed true to what it is, its brand, and who the people are, and it's really those characters that Bill Bell created. You know, I mean, the 2 Bell shows that are still on the air, which both of them are dominating and still very, very healthy in the ratings. It's the legacy of that brand of storytelling. And that kind of storytelling was true to character-driven storytelling, rich and deep characters that you fell in love with and got to know over many, many years. And that's the key to the success of this show. And the reason that storytelling can be so compelling is that we have the greatest cast in the business to bring those stories to life. So it's a hand in glove. If you have great storytelling and this amazing cast, then you're unstoppable and you can continue. And I think that's what's been key. And I think it's certainly that Bell influence. You know, I think that.
Well, you brought back some lovely characters that this audience loves. You've got Beth Maitland coming back as Tracy Abbott.
Right. You want to see those characters. You want to see those.
Yeah, Fisher Cass coming back.
Fisher Cass,
as Nina.
Yeah.
People they identify with, you know.
But none of us would be here if it hadn't been for Bill Bell and Lee Phillip Bell.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I guess we'll get some audience questions. The only thing that we ask is that you do wait until the microphone comes because we have media running. Okay, so here, yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
First, I want to say thank you because my mom has watched since the first episode, and I grew up with all of you, and I can't thank you enough for what you've given to me, to my family. My question is, you sat here and heard the sniffling behind you, watching the scenes. How did it feel to hear the audience react to the work that you do?
We were sniffling.
We were sniffling too. We didn't hear you.
I know. I got so affected by I got wrapped up too. I was like, "This is the good stuff."
It was very
It really
good.
I was. I
Who
heard
did
it too,
that?
and I was like,
wanna
"Yeah,
know that.
it's very compelling. I'm very proud of that."
I don't know. We all are very critical of what we do. So even while we do a scene, there's always a third eye in an actor's mind that watches what he's doing. I think we all know when a scene is phony and when it's real. So when we watch it, you immediately say it works or it doesn't work. You just sort of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are very sensitive to that. So we know when it's bullshit and when it's real.
It's true.
I was hoping you didn't have Nile virus. That's all I was. I've been avoiding mosquitoes.
But I think for any actor to have an audience respond, like you said, when you hear that kind of thing, that's what we live and breathe for as actors, because we're only one half of the equations. What you bring, we do together.
Absolutely.
So if you're not there, we don't have anything.
You know what I think is fantastic too, and it happens more often than not, is you're brought to the show through a relative. So there's an attachment to your mother, aunts, quiet, I'm watching my story. So people come up to me all the time that have been introduced to this genre because a relative was hooked into it. And so it feels like one big family, especially now with media where we're able to interact with people who watch the show all the time on Facebook. And I know more about them than I ever have, and they know as much about me as, so I mean, that's something you don't find in a lot of TV
Our
shows.
fans are so intimate with us, I think because we are in their living rooms every single day. It's not just once a week at night, like a primetime show, for years and years and years. And they've all been watching since they were at their mother's knee. Their mother's ironing, watching Y&R, and so they do it too, and they grow up and they have children, and there it goes. And we have a whole new generation of fans, but I have had, and I think Jeanne has too, I've had 4 generations of the same family stand in front of me and say, I've watched you my whole life. And oh my God. But it's true, and they feel such a closeness to us. It's like we are part of their family, and we feel that too.
And we feel the same way.
And are so grateful that you feel that way, because it keeps us all going.
One thing I would just add as a fan, going back to what Peter, you said at the very beginning, continuity. When I left for college, I then moved to like 7 different cities in my early part of my career, and when I would be completely overwhelmed in a new place, oh my God, I don't know, I would turn on the show, and there are people I knew.
Touchstone.
And you're home. You're home for that hour.
Oh, fine. So anyway, okay, another audience question. Back there.
I'd like to ask a question of Nikki. Do you miss your sister? And if you do, why don't you call her more often?
Hi, baby doll. This is Roberta Layton, who played Cassie, my sister.
Give me a call.
So great to see you. I haven't seen her in years. It's just kind of like, give me your new number. I'll call ya.
Shout it out.
Hi. I have a comment that I'd like to make. I traveled from Houston, Texas today to be here for this event.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
I've watched your show since day one at the young age of 7. When my mother told me to go upstairs when the subject matters got a little taboo, and I was just go upstairs and read my Hardy Boys books in my room, and instead I went into my parents' bedroom and watched your show.
Is this leading up to a lawsuit?
No.
Or a prison story.
You are a truly wonderful group of people, and I think that I speak for everyone when I say that you are all at the top of your game, involving acting, producing, directing, writing, and your show is extraordinary as far as I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
Okay. You're doing great.
I actually thought you were just like texting someone. You guys are really fantastic. OMG, look at this.
I'm almost done. Continuity, veteran characters who are seldom recast, floral arrangements, attention to, the floral arrangements were unreal. The set design, use of flashbacks, makeup, hair, wardrobe, and I will close by saying that hardly anybody knows that there's not, to my knowledge, a nighttime or a daytime television show that has been #1 in the Nielsen ratings as long as The Young and the Restless. So,
Yeah, I have a comment too. When you're from a fan's point of view, for talking about other actors coming on the show, I hate to say this, but I watched all my children. And
What? Easy.
Well, no. And with it being gone, it's nice to see some of the actors on another show as a new viewer. I used to watch from 11:30 to 12, but it's nice to watch it now and see other people who we used to watch on another show go to another show and learn the history of the other show and history, and and start watching it. Because a lot of my friends who watched All My Children are now watching Young and the Restless.
Well, I'm so glad you say that, because that was, certainly a part of the thought process. Plus, I'm in general just a soap fan at heart, and All My Children was one of the shows that I loved just as I loved Young and Restless. And so I was very familiar with the work of some of these great actors that we've brought on this show, and certainly with actors from other shows like, Jeanne Francis from General Hospital, et cetera.
Yes.
So I felt like it was an opportunity when we were casting to bring in just superlative daytime actors.
It was just weird to see Melissa with Billy because we knew they were brother and
Yes,
sister.
exactly.
So we're so glad that they didn't kiss or anything,
Yes,
because that would
I
have
know.
been so gross.
That would have been. And it was hard to not immediately put Angie and Jesse together, which we resisted the impulse.
But I want to thank you from the fans to put them on the show so we can still watch them and do other stuff then, because it's really nice to see all of them
We're so glad
on
you're
there.
watching, and I'm really glad you found us, and that this form is something that when you are addicted to it and you love it, you want to watch it, and you're going to find it somewhere. And I think the fact is that the strength of this show will make it probably the last show standing, or the last two shows standing with Bold. And I think we hope that all of you true soap fans are going to find Young and the Restless.
Yeah, it's like you said. They keep the core characters and they work around it. And that's why I tell other shows. Y&R has the secret. You work around your core people.
But I'm so glad they guided you in.
Well,
so thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I had a question for Peter. When I started watching the show, which my mom had watched, and she loves to tell everyone I was named after Lori Brooks, so that's her favorite story. But families like the Brooks family, especially the Abbott family, was the one that I really grew up watching, and seeing the family around the breakfast table just seemed very natural to me. And I just want to know, character-wise, how you ground yourself with having a family, how that adds to who you are. I mean, do you develop really that family with those people? And for all the other ones, the Chancellors, the Newmans, how being part of a family grounds your character?
I come from a great family. I have my own great family. So family is not hard for me to play. What is cool about this Abbott family is the eccentricity of each of the actors. It's God, what a great group it was. What a great group it was to get together at a breakfast table and squabble and throw food and get ugly with each other. The family stuff is core to what these shows are. These shows are about multi-generational families. And we, each generation, identify with whoever we line up with. But I can't tell you how many people I've met whose name is Ashley because they were named after my sister. Yeah, it's
That's
a
true.
remarkable thing. The family thing is wonderful stuff to play. I'm a huge Eileen Davidson fan. I love her work. And I always considered myself very lucky that I was in her family, because were I not, they'd have put us together and I'd have ruined that. As it is, she's my sister forever, and I get to play with her forever, which is a great thing.
We have time for like one more.
I grew up watching this show, and I know I look in the mirror and I see myself aging. I don't see any of you aging. So my
So
mom.
your eyesight's going too. I'm sorry for you.
My mom has taught me a big gift when I look at Y&R and I see your kids were little last week. Now they're teenagers and in bed with almost Eden. And I remember years ago when I met Michelle Stafford, and she was so gracious, and she said, if they age Daniel, I'm going to be really upset. Now, how old are you if Summer is aged where she is now?
I don't care. I'm a grandma now. It doesn't matter to me.
If you notice, I've called upstairs and said, please, don't have me go upstairs anywhere. I can't come down any older.
So true.
Let's do one last question. There's someone here who had really wanted to ask one.
Hi, my name is Tina. I'm from Toronto, Canada. And I've come up with my daughter to see this. Just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me every day, and my mom and my daughter, and I guess all of us here. You guys have done a wonderful job. Keep up the great work. To the writers, you guys are awesome. To you guys bring it all to life. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
I would also just like to add another extra round of applause for Maria, who's leaving the show but has done a terrific job.
I am leaving the show, and it's a very, very tough thing to do. This show has been a part of my life since I was 25 years old, and met the Bell family, and my father and mother-in-law gave me a chance and put me in daytime, and I'd always wanted to be a writer, and I was a big soap fan, and so not only has this show been so important to me, it's been in a way the story of my life. My entire family has been involved in it in one way or another, and I started in this business with my writing partner, Brad Bell, and with, writing The Bold and the Beautiful, which was very close to my heart, and The Young and the Restless in the writer's room in 1989. So I've had an incredible journey with this show. I think it's the greatest show ever. I've felt just an amazing kinship with my father-in-law in telling stories, walking into CBS every morning, seeing his and my mother-in-law's photo, and really feeling that he was my mentor and I was his legacy. It was a great, great experience. And like every good soap opera story, I did get killed off. But I do have to say that there may be an evil twin somewhere down the road. But I really, really love this show, and I love all these folks, and it has been amazing. I had the most wonderful team of writers, and I loved working with them. We were like a family. This group of people was extraordinary, and it's very fitting. I wrote about 1,600 episodes, but one of the thing that was really, or maybe 1,300, I don't know, who knows, I don't know, a lot. And but I wrote the 10,000th, and I think when you see the 10,000th, you'll see that it's very much about what's core to this show. It's not a big party episode. It's an episode that tells a lot of driving story, that peaks a very, very important story, and has ramification and fallout for pretty much everybody on this stage. And that was how I really feel comfortable going out, is on that very strong show and having had a great run here. And I'm ready for the next part of my own personal soap opera, and but I'll never, ever forget The Young and the Restless, and I'll always miss Genoa City.
Last word to Jeanne. Last quick word.
I would like to mention that Maria has been very responsible for the life given back to MoCA, which is the Museum of Creative Arts. And she found the right person, and that person came forth. And that wasn't an easy thing. It's a museum that could have tanked, and she saved it, along with her husband, Bill Jr. And that's the other part of Maria that's quite exceptional. Thanks. And the two of them have tried to balance of what is what you see on the wall, of what you see performing. And that takes years to do. You're young. You will make it work. And I know what you were trying to do.
Thank you, everybody.